Okay, so we have been working on our research unit, and so far we've done a lot of prep work to get ready for research. One of the things that we've talked about is when we have our academic conversations, we need to make sure that we follow our rules. What's our first rule when we have academic conversations, Denise?
Only one person talks at a time.
And then as that person is talking, everyone else needs to make sure their eyes are on the speaker. Good. We also need to make sure our hands are where, everyone?
In our lap.
And if someone needs a reminder, we make sure that the reminder is
Friendly.
And also we need to make sure that how do we speak, Krubel?
Loudly, but not too loud.
Right, loudly enough to be heard, but not too loud. So if we want to recap to what we were doing last week, we were getting ready for our research. One thing that we did to get ready for our research is to know our resources. What are some of the different resources we have to help us with this research project? Julia?
One of our resources are Chromebooks.
Good, Chromebooks. And what's on your Chromebooks that's another resource?
Website.
Different websites related to the topic, and what's something else?
Google Read and Write.
Google Read and Write to help us put all of our research together, right? Besides websites, what else, what other resource do we have besides the reading of the websites?
We have our organizer.
Okay, good. We have some organizers. What else is on the Chromebook that's not just reading, but listening and viewing too?
Videos.
We have a few videos, right? Good. Then it says to figure out your main subtopics or categories. What is our research question that we're trying to figure out, Denise?
Kids need homework, yes or no?
Do kids need homework? And we decided our main topics were either yes, they need homework, or no, they don't need homework. Now I know we talked about before we started this research unit, I know what you guys all want to say from the get-go, right? Do kids need homework?
No.
No. But we need to do some research to figure out why homework would be good, and then other reasons why it's okay maybe not to have so much homework. Another thing that we have started doing last week is that we're taking organized structured notes, and that's in your graphic organizer. Today what we're going to move towards is synthesizing learning across text. What do you think it means when I say we're going to synthesize our learning across multiple texts? Krubel?
They put two texts together.
Good. What do you mean by that? Can you explain that a little bit more?
Taking some important facts from one text and important facts from another and putting them together to make another text.
Good. So we're taking facts from one article, facts from another article, maybe some facts that we learned from a video, and we're trying to synthesize them to come up with some common themes that we see for reasons why kids need homework and why other kids don't need homework, right?
Yeah.
So last week we started doing our research, and we just started reading our first anchor text, and you guys were starting to take notes on reasons why, yes, we need homework, reasons why, no, we don't need homework. So let's go around the room and just share some of your reasons why homework would be a good thing. Krubel, what was one of your yeses?
They want their children, parents want their children to improve on what they learn.
Okay, Jack?
Parents think losing potential.
Okay. Parents think their kids are losing potential? Okay, Sam? Same thing as Jack. Denise?
Parents were mad that their kids just come home and do stuff that is not educational.
Okay.
Kids come home tired.
Okay.
Students are gaining extra learning time each day.
Okay. Valeria?
Same thing that he said.
And Julia?
They should have tired brains from doing all their homework.
Okay, so let's have a quick conversation amongst each other. What were some of the common themes we heard around the reasons why, yes, students should have to do homework after school?
Their brain should be like stretched or tired.
So a reason why kids should have homework would be to stretch their brains even more. Okay. Another thought? Pass the talking stick to someone else who wants to share. Another big idea for reasons why students should have homework.
Another reason students should have homework
Nice and loud.
is to get everything they need to learn.
To get everything that they need to learn done. Can anyone rephrase that a little bit better? You need to get everything that you learned. How else could we say that? Passage check.
It means like know everything that you're supposed to know.
How do you ensure that you know everything you're supposed to know? Let's say during the day we practice fractions, and then the teacher assigned homework. The homework is to know everything you're supposed to know. How do your parents and how do I know that you know everything you're supposed to know?
By giving them a review of what they learned in class.
But what do you do? Why is homework helpful to you?
Because you get better at what you've learned in class, and then you'll improve at what you learn.
Good. There's a key word I'm thinking of. It starts with a P. Does anyone know what I'm talking about?
Practice.
Practice. Good. So to practice what you've learned, right? All right, so let's go around the room and let's share our reasons why no, students don't need homework. Let's start over on this side this time. Julia?
Students should not have homework because they should be able to have family time, playtime, and sleep.
Okay, family time, playtime, and sleep.
Earlier.
Okay. Valeria?
It gives heavy work to students.
What do you mean by that? Gives heavy work to students.
Like, you might have really hard homework.
Okay. And that might be too difficult? Is that what you're saying? Okay, Kyla?
Same story.
Okay.
They want to enjoy their time with their families, have time for sports, and limit heavy workloads.
Okay. Denise?
A school says it's better to spend time doing things you would want to do and going to bed on time rather than go to bed late and not be able to be ready for the next day.
Okay. Sam?
That you should eat and play and sleep early.
Okay. Jack?
Same thing as him.
All right. And Krugel?
Same thing as Denise.
Remember, repeat it one more time.
It was students should have time. Students should have time doing things that they want to do.
All right, so let's talk about some of our big ideas for reasons no. What are some? How can we combine some of those to create a big idea for why no, students shouldn't have homework? Julia?
They should have playtime.
Good. Enough time for play, right? You've been working all day. Let's get home and let's play and relax. Kyla, another big idea?
They get to spend more time with their family.
Good. Family time. And Denise?
Work on sports or physical activity.
Good. How about extracurriculars? Who knows what extracurriculars are? Kyla, what are
It's like
extracurriculars?
things you do outside of school.
Good. They're the extra things. Good. So what I want us to do is to continue doing our research on the reasons why students should or should not have homework. As we're doing our research, we talked about one of our researches was Google Read and Write. What do we need to make sure we're doing, how we're using Google Read and Write as we're doing our research? Denise?
We're highlighting whatever you're writing down on your paper, either in yellow or blue.
Good. If there are reasons why yes, students need homework, they should be in yellow. If there are reasons why no, students should not need homework, you're highlighting those things in blue, right?
Yes.
All right, to make sure that we're pushing our thinking, our Chromebook should still be closed and our eyes are up here. We need to make sure that we're going to push our thinking. What do I mean when I say we're going to push our thinking? This says ways to push your thinking. What do I want you to do if I want you to push your thinking, Sam?
You want us to think beyond,
What does that mean?
like farther.
Good. I don't want you to come up with just surface level things. Remember when we were playing our game earlier? I want you to push beyond the obvious and kind of dig a little bit deeper. So in order to dig a little bit deeper, here are some things that we need to do. We need to ask ourselves the important thing about this is. So as we're doing our research, what's one of the important things? Jack, would you read the next one?
This is giving me the idea that
Good. Juliet, the one that Jack skipped over?
I'm realizing
Good. Riley?
this connects to.
So you should definitely be making connections, right? The more you're researching and reading different articles, you should definitely be making connections with these big ideas and seeing those common threads throughout. Kyla, the next one.
The thought I have about this is,
Valeria?
What surprised me about this
Has anyone come across the surprising fact, like, oh, I never even thought about that's why we do or don't have homework. Have you come across something surprising
Yes, it was
already?
when the article said that a school in Michigan actually doesn't give their kids homework.
Right. How many of you know someone who doesn't have homework at all? Okay, so some schools are starting to institute this. Any other surprising facts that you came across in your research so far?
Kind of like what Jimmy said, but it's like in New York City where they stop giving homework.
Okay. And then the last one, Krubel.
This makes me think.
How many of you are definitely realizing yourselves thinking as you're doing your research, like either, oh, I'm totally right, we definitely shouldn't have homework, or how many of you are maybe thinking, okay, I might not love homework, but I'm definitely starting to see the value for it, maybe, kinda, sorta. Okay, what I want us to do is open up our Chromebooks, open up to the next website, make sure you're using your Google Read and Write tools to highlight in yellow and blue. Any questions before you begin? All right.
So I highlighted it because parents say that teachers give their students too much homework, that it's giving them like a workload, and what they mean by a workload is because they're giving them so much homework that they're having a hard time and they're being stressful.
So are you seeing that fitting into any of our big topics that we have?
Yes.
Which one do you think it fits into? If it's cutting into their time or it's stressing the children out? Maybe this one? Okay.
So how many of you are seeing that as you're doing your research or as you're checking back to what you've already researched, that the things that you're highlighting are fitting into those big ideas that are up on the board? All right, and also check to be sure we might be missing some big ideas. So keep your eye out for that, and if there's something that we don't have covered yet, maybe put a star next to that and we can add that big idea to our charts.